From as far back as 3000 BC, in fact, since almost the genesis of human history, migration was a phenomenon birthed for prosperity. Migration has always been a strong impetus to spur human development, although these days, migration is associated with challenges and threats to those who embark on these journeys. What is migration? The connotations are many, the contexts manifold. Two do stand out: displacement due to natural and man-made events, and the constant quest for economic prosperity. Today, increasing numbers of Sri Lankans seek foreign employment. 2014 registered more than 300,000 departures. The amount remitted to the country due to migration is $7 billion, 65% of export earnings. In the late 1970s, Sri Lankan migrant workers were primarily sent to the Middle East as domestic helpers. The numbers were about 15,000 in 1986, of which 24% were women. 10 years later, the numbers had grown with domestic helpers encompassing 73%. In the new millennium, the trend changed and females comprised only 55%. This paradigm shift continued, seeing a drastic reduction to 36% in 2014, even though the numbers leaving Sri Lanka annually were increasing. With the government's policy to shift from unskilled and low-skilled workers to skilled workers, many prospective migrant workers are realizing the need for improving skill levels. The introduction of the NVQ system, especially for domestic workers, has been a positive step forward. Sri Lanka's migrant labour force began spreading its wings geographically and towards better wages and decent working conditions. Astute labour migration can be beneficial to any country in terms of boosting national economies and gaining large tranches of foreign exchange. The remittances contribute to bridging the budget deficit and boosting free education, health, and other social services. Due to lack of access to services that encourage entrepreneurship and knowledge gain for better career prospects, foreign employment proves to be a quick option for income generation. Labour migration involves stakeholders ranging from local employment promoters, licensed recruitment agencies, diplomatic missions, the employer and the employee, while the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment remains the apex body that protects and empowers migrant workers and their communities. Safe and informed migration cannot be taken for granted. While laws do exist in curbing human trafficking and smuggling, fraud and harassment, loopholes in implementation renders migrants and family members helpless to claim their rights. Over decades, the ILO has been a catalyst in working with its constituents to ensure fair working conditions for migrants, from the Decent Work Country program to the National Labour Migration Policy. ILO's Labour Migration Project sought to support national tripartite plus stakeholders to implement the National Labour Migration Policy effectively, in partnership with the Swiss Agency for Development Cooperation, providing funding since 2010. The policy interventions of the project are anchored on the key principles of the ILO's multilateral framework on labour migration and the United Nations Convention on the Protection of the Rights of Migrant Workers and members of their families, and other national and international frameworks addressing primarily low-skilled migrant workers. Workers who are more prone to undergoing abuse and exploitation at all stages of the migration process, including in return and reintegration. The project strengthens the evidence base for development of mechanisms and tools for government and key stakeholders to empower and protect migrant workers through a consultative process. The project has supported policy implementations through 4 key areas of focus. Spearheaded by a tripartite project advisory committee chaired by the Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Employment, it is represented by relevant government agencies, employers, trade unions and civil society organizations, academics and the donor. The entire process of labour migration is strengthened through good governance that includes policy, legal and institutional aspects. In order to implement these, the ILO has developed reports, guidelines and frameworks and provides technical guidance to the government and stakeholders to operationalize such policies and institutional mechanisms. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment Act No. 21 of 1985 is the primary legislation governing foreign employment in the country. The project is supporting the Ministry of Foreign Employment to ratify the ILO Convention No. 97 and 143, which deals with migration for employment and migration in abusive conditions, and provides feedback on proposed new legislation. In order to enhance capacities of government stakeholders, the project made several successful interventions. Through a training of trainers approach, capacities of designated local government officers were enhanced in 5 districts to share information on safe migration. 2 additional districts of Nuwara Eliya and Ampara were subsequently included. A select group of 21 officers from the SLBFE, Ministry of Foreign Employment and SDC's partners formed a Training of Trainers group and were trained for 5 days to gather content on the migration cycle and strengthen delivery methods to permeate the knowledge at district, divisional and Grama Niladhari levels. A standard package of safe migration information in both Sinhala and Tamil is now accepted by the government and used to develop knowledge and capacity of local government officers through a cascade approach, covering geographical areas covered by ILO and partners of SDC. The safe migration information is used extensively by migration development officers and other relevant officers to provide information to prospective migrants and their family members. ILO reached over 1,000 district, divisional and Grama Niladhari divisional officers, 20 trade unionists and 13 CSO representatives to facilitate sharing safe migration information. This included all migration development officers in all districts covered by the ILO. The operational manual for labour sections of diplomatic missions in destination countries was a first for this region in support of standardized migrant worker grievance handling. 3 ministries collaborated to develop the manual, launched in 2013. Several sensitization sessions on the use of the operational manual were conducted. An online questionnaire on the operational manual responded to by officials based in 15 countries revealed that 88% have increased levels of confidence in migrant worker grievance handling. Claiming other benefits also in the process, the ILO worked with the SLBFE and the Tertiary Vocational Education Commission to ensure that pre-departure training skills are imparted to lower-skilled migrant workers through standardized guides. 37 functional and language guides were developed towards earning the NVQ Level 3 certification. The guides were field tested through 160 SLBFE officers from 25 SLBFE centres around the country. A code of ethical conduct was developed for licensed foreign employment agencies in collaboration with the Ministry, the SLBFE and the Association of Foreign Employment Agents, and launched by the Minister of Foreign Employment on International Migrants' Day in 2013. Its rollout was supported by the project, having had extensive discussions on its implementation. With the aim of fulfilling academic interest, a 6-month diploma course in migration and prevention of trafficking was jointly supported by the project and conducted by the Bandaranaike Centre for International Studies in its Phase 1. A 3-month certificate-level course for prospective officers of the Sri Lanka diplomatic missions on the operational manual and labour migration management was conducted in 2013 in Phase 2. A select group of development officers underwent an intensive certificate course on labour migration management at the National Institute of Labour Studies to give them an academic understanding on migration, regulation and management. Training for SLBFE's conciliation officers and development of a training strategy to strengthen their skills and competencies was also done. The project designed a centralized grievance referral mechanism to ensure all grievances related to migrant workers and family members reach the SLBFE. Further, capacity building on this referral system is needed with respective stakeholder agencies to further operationalize it. Background work for establishing special mediation boards for migrants and their families to redress matters that are personal in nature is supported through technical inputs from the Asia Foundation. Migration and development was linked through the upscaling of reintegration efforts towards policy formulation. A research study conducted in 15 high migration districts and a pilot project implemented in Kurunegala and Ampara, which supported returnees like Nilanthi, provided a background for focus areas for national policy on return and reintegration. Nilanthi is from Ampara and worked for 2 years in Jordan to pay back debts due to her son's illness. On her return, she went back to tending to her home garden, bringing in a meager monthly income of 4,000 rupees. Under the ILO reintegration pilot, she received SIYB training and has launched a thriving business supplying sweets to nearby shops, allowing her to pay off her debts and save 3,500 rupees monthly. Field consultations in 4 districts and a national lessons learned workshop resulted in the agreement of draft strategic areas of focus for the sub-policy on return and reintegration in October 2014. The draft National Action Plan was validated by stakeholders in July 2015, and the National Sub-Policy was formally launched and handed over to the people by Thalatha Athakorala, the Minister of Foreign Employment, on the 10th of December 2015. The action plan will initiate support for social integration, economic reintegration, physical and psychosocial reintegration, mobilization and empowerment of migrant workers, as well as capacity building to support and protect migrant workers and their families. The project has shared its experiences at regional workshops and consultations, local partner exchange platform meetings and policy briefs. The project is an excellent example of how the government and stakeholders can be supported to implement a national policy to ensure a better future for the country. Strengthened partnerships, technical support, collaboration and coordination are all required components for successful policy implementation. It is an experience to be shared across regions. However, as does all policy-level initiatives, it requires time, leadership and institutionalization by the government and stakeholders for fruition. With the development of skills, awareness, capacities and legislative processes streamlined and strengthened, a better governance labour migration process empowers migrant workers whose blood, sweat and tears are fundamental to the growth of every nation. The cogs of the wheels have now begun turning for decent working conditions, improved skill sets and enhanced quality of life among this large and growing cohort of 1.8 million Sri Lankans overseas, who truly are the lifeblood of Sri Lanka's economy and its people.